This is about season two. I'm sorry if my question's not unoriginal, but it's a curiosity of mine. Um, the writers, well, not the writers, the staff at Hasbro or the animation studios were trying to get Transformers into syndication. So there was a time an episode was released every day or every couple days afterwards. So my question to you both, and I'm not sure if you could answer to the exactitude for the entire staff, but how exhausting was writing season two?
Imagine you're in a train depot, and there is a slow-moving freight train with open box cars coming by. Every day, you've got to load that box car, and they can't stop the train. It's going to keep moving at that rate, and you've got to have something in the box car. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the G.I. Joe episode, The Viper.
Oh.
Okay. The Viper started on a Tuesday as a joke Steve Gerber, who was the story editor at the time, told at lunch. Friday, we needed absolutely, no questions, no doubt, we needed Monday morning a complete script to go into the boxcar on Monday. And everybody else had their hands full. They called David Weiss, they gave him the Viper joke, and he said it'll be there, and it was. So that's what it was like. Every day something had to go in the boxcar.
And that was a really good episode.
Yeah. Well, it shows what happens when you don't think, you just push ahead,
Yeah, it's amazing when you have deadlines, and it's like you just got to get, stream of consciousness. You just got to get it done, get it out, get it into the boxcar, because there's another one coming right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I have to thank you because of the difficulty with that is like more difficult than with putting out an episode of an anime like every day. They do it weekly, but you guys did it every day. I got to thank you for that.
No, we not only did for the shows in particular an episode every day, but you have to remember at one point, I think, Jim, Inhumanoids, My Little Pony, I think Visionaries started after Jim, Transformers, G.I. Joe, we had at least 5 series going simultaneously.
Yeah, we had, and because of all the volume of work on each series, 65 on some of these, each one, we physically had to have 3 physical buildings and fill it up in order to get the production done. And that was almost for a good 9 years of doing that. It was like an incredible amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, thank you again for writing a lot of people's childhoods.
No, you're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Derek. Recently, I got the Transformers the movie 4K, and one of the special features on there was a lot of storyboards that didn't get used. And I was curious if you guys had ever thought about animating those storyboards and possibly getting some of the voice actors back and trying to get a project like that off the ground, because the Battle for Autobot City was like 15 minutes, but it seemed like with all those storyboards that were in there that weren't used, it could turn into an hour or even a movie all by itself.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just curious if you guys ever thought about doing that, or if somebody's ever approached Hasbro to try and start a project like that. Because, I mean, people are still crazy about the movie even today.
Yeah, I would think that maybe if you approach the toy companies, but about doing that. But no, none of us thought about it. But it was cut out for a reason, and I don't know the reason because I wasn't involved with the editing process back then for that. But no, you're right, because sometimes you're drawing a movie or film or TV show, and you over storyboard, and you've only got so many minutes, so things get excised. That sometimes stuff you really like, but you got to cut it out.
Yeah, I was curious about that because a lot of those storyboards seemed really interesting. Like they could add a lot more information to the movie, and there were a lot of characters like the Stunticons or Omega Supreme that weren't even mentioned. And
Yeah, it's unfortunate, yeah. Sometimes you lose some really cool stuff.
Yeah. So that's my question. I was just curious if somebody ever thought about doing that as a project, or if somebody would bring it up to you guys, or you guys would have to start it.
No, it'd actually have to come from you, the fans, to them.
Hasbro, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
that's where it would
Right.
have the most effect, is from the fans more than us.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for
Sure.
answering.
Kind of similar to what he asked. Were there ever any storylines that you guys did that you would have loved to have seen expanded upon, or maybe had a part 2 like they did in the early seasons when they were first making the show?
On Transformers, no, because as I said, I was primarily focused on G.I. Joe. So no, for me, there wasn't a Transformers that I would have wanted to do. If they had asked me, I would have probably been able to come up with ideas for other episodes, but they were keeping me busy with G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I don't have any, I have nothing more to add to that. No, I don't have any other, nothing more to add to that, because it's, I'm not the writer, so I just grab stuff from him and just run with it.
All right, thank you.
Sure.